Okay, you guys should be able to hear me now. Let's see. That looks like about a good rate. Okay. Yeah, that should be good. Um, yeah, that I'm using. Well, you guys obviously couldn't hear me say it. I'm using Prism Live Studio today. It's different software than what I usually use, so there might be some kinks here or there. And the first question I had was, "What is the meaning of life?" Which, of course, I already explained, and I thought you guys were aware. The meaning of life is, of course, boobs, boobies. Mashed potatoes. I like mashed potatoes, Quasar. And you guys know me. I have very limited tastes, but mashed potatoes are delicious. Good mashed potatoes and roast beef. Mashed potatoes and any red meat. Any red meat with anything. Because I like red meat. Red meat and pizza. Should probably have that on my tombstone since it's one or both that are going to kill me. Although I'm having Chinese for dinner today. It seems even weird for me to still say. I just recently discovered that I liked the way that rice is prepared at Chinese restaurants because I'd never liked rice. But the only rice I knew was plain old white rice and it was boring. And now that I've tried it, beef fried rice, and got to get the red meat in there again, has become one of my favorite things. Drew says, "Can I have your social security number?" Sure. It's 7. I'm really old. 7. I'm sorry, Country Shape Media. You couldn't hear me when I answered that. On the thumbnail, yeah, I think I'm on the right side. Trying to remember the thumbnail I put up, even though it was like 3 minutes ago. I'm the one foreground, obviously, in the shot. Really? Odin says, "When it comes to Chinese, just hand me a bag of egg rolls and I would demolish that stuff." Not big on the egg rolls. I like the only two things I like, and again, my tastes are super limited. I like sweet and sour chicken, and a big fried rice. Is that racist? No, it's my Chinese impression. If somebody don't like it, I can't help you. Here's the most important question: What's your favorite hentai series? I don't know a lot of hentai. I mean, I spend plenty of time on adult websites, but not necessarily in the hentai section. Anton says, watch Prostitute Mickey ages ago. Didn't expect to catch it on live stream so suddenly. Oh, I'm glad you're in, Anton. Oh, Prostitute Mickey was so funny. Those are some fun days. And now you guys have seen here at the channel, I'm switching things. We're going back to more of those style of reactions here because the show and movie reactions have moved over to the Grandpa Curtis Reacts channel. So yeah, anything like that we dig up, we'll be watching over here. Wolverine says you've never had Chinese until you ate pussycats. Well, oh, come on, get it right, Curtis. I don't want to report him. Jesus Christ, Wolverine! I'm trying to like your super chat, and instead it's going. No, you want to report him. Report him. I actually remember back in the days when they were catching Chinese restaurants, cutting up cat. I mean, that's not one of those urban tales that somebody just like created at some point. It was when I lived in California. And there were others around the country too, if I remember right. But I was living in California, and they caught some in the Bay Area, some Chinese restaurants serving cat. Das Brot says, "Were you on the way to have a bodybuilder body back in the wrestling days, or were you always in the mood? I stay fat. This is my mark." Neither extreme. I don't have a bodybuilder's type physique because I'm way too thick, and I don't get defined as much as I just blow up and get bigger and bigger. So I never really got into bodybuilding. It was more powerlifting. Later on in my wrestling career, I did find that carrying extra weight actually helped me. For whatever reason, all I imagine is it's cushioning with all the stupid falls I took, all the crazy bumps. But yeah, I was never going to have a lean physique. And that, that's something that I knew myself just because you know your own body. But as with all the different tests, procedures, and stuff I've had from injuries throughout the years, has been supported. I mean, my doctor that I had in New York has told me that my musculature is really, really dense, and so are my bones. That's why I got the giant freaking head. I'm 5'10" and have a size 8 hat wearing head with my head shaved. But it's because I have huge bone density and thick muscle density. It also explained why too. My doctor in California was an athlete, and so he was into sports. He was a big rugby player when he was younger, and he explained, because I'm taking a lot of good shots between boxing, wrestling, street fights to my nose, and it never broke. And he said, well, cartilage and bone are basically the same thing. He said, so if your bones are that dense, your cartilage is that dense, it's going to take a lot to break it. Hey, Unknown Gamer, good to have you. Wolverine says, imagine being a sumo and having only 2% fat. I don't think you could survive. Those guys would be tossing your ass. That's fair. Anton says, maybe the fat increased your gravitational pull. Could have been the reason you were so successful. I am a planet. Greg Z says, will you react to Billy Corgan's new reality show about professional wrestling? I haven't heard of it, Greg Z. I can't say I would because I haven't. That's the first I've heard of it. If I did, that would be at the Curtis Candy channel, the wrestling channel. There hasn't been any new content there because I'm deciding which way to take it. What happened was I was doing reactions to all those different WWE compilations, and we've done them to where they're just all getting repetitive. It's the funniest moments in WWE or WWE wrestlers communicating with each other, blah, blah, blah. Those were fun, but there's only so much of that content that was repeating. So I'm like, I got to decide which way I'm taking that. Something like that might fit there. But that's the first I've heard of it, Griggsy, so I'd have to look at it and see. Austin says, favorite WWE moment, mine is Sting at Survivor Series, debuting when Team Cena versus Team Authority. What about you? Well, my favorite moments would be when like a lot of you guys, when I was a kid, but that would be the Bruno Sammartino era. But of the more modern era, easily for me is still Foley and Undertaker in Hell in a Cell. Dasbro says, Curtis so fat they had to rip off Pluto in the solar system by saying it's not you, it's us. I had actually crested. What was it? About 2 months ago, I checked and I had passed the 300-pound mark. I was 304. But I've also realized that at 62 years old, it's just too much. And I'm going to be cutting my life short. And I'm not even that concerned about it, except that A, I want to stay here and play with you guys. Yeah, you can take that more than one way, and I mean it more than one way. And B, my family needs me. So for the last... This is near the end of May, so about the last 7 weeks, I've decided it's not a matter of going on a diet. I'm changing the way I eat entirely and paying more attention to working out. So last I checked was a week ago, and I started at 304. Now I'm down to 284.8. I plan on settling at around 230 or so. Quasar says that we're going to continue Star Wars reactions with episode 2. At some point, I'll get to it, Quasar. And again, that will be, don't forget, that'll be over at the Grandpa Curtis Reacts channel. But I point to it like it's right there, you guys. It's right there. Go. Movies, I have to fit in when I can because I do have really full days with the amount of content I make. So what I do with movies is I try and find a time where I get enough time to watch the movie. Then I can get it in my editing software, and every day as I get a little bit more time, I edit as I go. I thought about that, Random Lobster. I may do that. He says for the Curtis Candy channel, you can play 2K24's career mode. That'd be a ton of fun. I was thinking about something like that. That'd be fun. Griggsy says, I bet you could beat Dusty Rhodes. I never got to meet Dusty. And back in the day, we were in similar areas, but never crossed paths. Like what I told you guys, when I went out and worked out with Joe Blanchard's group, that was Tully's dad. Was he Southwest Championship Wrestling? All I remember is his logo was two wrestling babies. That was the logo of their organization. Um, Dusty was in that area at the time, but he wasn't wrestling for Joe, so I didn't get to meet him. Will you keep all the content? Oh yeah, the Goose still keeps all the Goose gets all the content. Like even like the other day over at the Grandpa Curtis Reacts channel, I posted a South Park reaction. Well, anything I post there, the full version goes over to the Goose. Michael Lahoon says, my question is how to gain weight. I have a really high metabolism, and despite eating as much as I can and going on a month of working out, my biggest weight has been 96.8 pounds. I had a friend, Michael, when I lived in New York and many, many years ago, had the exact same problem. I used to feel so bad for the guy. He actually, he was a mortician, which he said himself, he saw, he fully appreciated the irony of being skinny and unable to gain weight as a mortician, because that's, how everybody visualizes a mortician as the creepy skeleton guy. But that's where I met him was I worked out at the local Y back then, and he came into the Y and he told me what his issue was, and he was new to working out, and he asked me for help. And I mean, I would get that guy pounding the calories, the carbs, the proteins, everything. And, I was teaching him how to lift for bulk. That's what I was good at. And his body just, he'd make small gains. And it used to irritate him because which I get, he's a mortician and he has to be skinny his whole life. He said, that's a stereotype. And B, he was gay. So he's like, now I'm also the gay, neat gay guy. He said, I want to be a fat gay guy just to go against the grain. But he was a really good dude. I've often wondered whatever happened to him. Kobe says, speaking of the Curtis Candy channel, you can show how the punches are made to look real and other convincing stuff. I've already been in contact with a guy here locally. I need a ring. The punches I could do, I could just use Bob, my punching bag there, and show you guys how to throw punches. But I'll need a ring to show you guys a lot of that stuff. But I've got a lead on one. Morgan says, what's your favorite Disney movie? Mine is Tangled. Tangled was good. Now we're talking with Disney. Can I do Pixar too? Also? Because then I just absolutely love the Toy Story movies. And of the 4, 3 is my favorite. Yeah, I'm in North Carolina, Griggsy. Just north of Charlotte. Oh yeah, SCP says, did the Fallout pilot episode do well enough to continue the series? Yeah, between that and we've had, this is just a YouTubeism, nothing against us specifically, but if you look at the Grandpa Curtis Reacts channel, we're playing more YouTube games. We had the channel going good. You'll see the best way to look at it as we put up those Smiling Friends videos. Smiling Friends 1 has over 9,000 views. Smiling Friends 2 has over 7,500 views. Smiling Friends 3 has about 500. Last Saturday it started, YouTube cut the faucet on us. Now, that's not them, I'd like to say, it's just Susan and her minions or her lineage coming after me. It happens to a lot of people. YouTube's got a fucked up system. So I'm hoping we get put back into a decent rotation again. But no, it did well enough. But again, those are longer. So anything that's longer, a movie or a longer show, I have to do that same thing. I find time to watch it, then I'll load it into my editor, and whenever I can get time during the days, I put little pieces because they take a long time to edit, a real long time. Wolverine says, check my next post. All right, we'll watch for that. Rusty Biker says, I have the same problem. I used to hit the gym all the time. My friends got ripped to hell and back. I just thicker than frozen Jello. It's weird, isn't that how just some bodies are just destined to be certain types. And Wolverine says, the voice of Mr. Incredible was the commencement speaker at my cousin's graduation at the University of Arizona a couple weeks ago. That's kind of cool. That's pretty good. Now that's a badass commencement speaker. I would think that was awesome. Kaiser says, if you had to spend a day with an anime character you hate, who would you prefer? Well, if I had to spend a day with one I hate, it'd have to be one of the hot women that I don't like, right? Who would that be? I don't know. Because if I'm going to spend a day with someone I hate, I want them to at least have nice boobies to look at. See, these types of things, those types of questions are tough for me because, again, my memory, the one that I want is never going to come to me. I'd have to think about it, but it'd be one of the obnoxious women that I've seen that I ended up didn't like, but is insanely hot anyway. Where are the Smiling Friends reactions, Simon says? They're over at the Grandpa Curtis Reacts channel. Austin says, two men meet on opposite sides of a river. One shouts to the other, I need you to help me get to the other side. The other guy shouts, you are on the other side. Shouts, you are on the other side. That's pretty good. That's basically telling us all that life is all about perspective. You are on the other side. Oh, could be Misa. Yeah, Morgan. Misa. That's a good one. Well, just let me do a quick search. I'll do female anime. We'll put villains. See if anybody. Oh, that's a good one right there. See, she looks a little younger than I like, though. Even though I'm a big fan of Toga, but I don't even hate her. She's too cool at what she does. So yeah, she wouldn't qualify anyway. Who else I got here? It's not. Here's Big Mom. No, it's not gonna be Big Mom. Ooh, Conan. I didn't like her character, and she was hot. That's a good one. P2. Nah, not P2. Revy. I didn't hate Revy. That's for goddamn sure. Lust is a good one. I hated Lust's character, but yeah, Lust might be the leader of the ones I've seen so far. Let's see if there's any others. No, a lot of these I don't know. Right now, of the ones I've seen, and you guys feel free to suggest others, it would be Lust. I'll spend a day with Lust if I got to spend a day with a character I hated. Yeah, that was a good one. No, I would take Chi-Chi over Lust, Lucien, because Chi-Chi annoys me. At least Lust is just plain out, she's one of the 7 deadly sins. She's a badass. She's evil. I can deal with all that. Chi-Chi and the annoyance factor. She just always struck me as so goddamn annoying. Random Lobster says, what was it like having your first wrestling match? How did you feel after? Oh, it's going way back. Gets to be a blur because, everything was... You get so excited for it, and there's so much build up and lead up to it and everything that it almost becomes a blur. It was awesome. How did I feel after? Real happy. Just happy to have finally gotten to perform in front of people. Michael says, the only plus to being so skinny is after just a week of cardio, I'm getting a six-pack again. Yeah, I can imagine. I don't know that I'll ever see a six-pack again. But it hasn't really been that difficult for me because all I do to lose weight is, weight loss isn't complicated. I change my portion sizes, try and eat a little better here and there, and I exercise. I have gotten so into playing this pickleball because I like, you know me, I've always liked sports. And I will tell you guys this, I could take video of it sometime. You guys know I don't make shit up. Braxton backed me up. I've taken to pickleball like in a really big hurry to the point where I don't know anybody locally that can beat me. And in most cases, it's not even close. Brax comes the closest. He still hasn't been able to beat me in one-on-one, but he's obviously younger and quicker and more athletic than me. So it becomes me playing a power and spin game against him playing with court coverage. Wolverine says if we have to spend a day with a character we hate, probably be Orochimaru, the snake, yeah? You might learn some stuff from Orochimaru. I mean, seriously. Morgan says, I finally convinced hubby to sign up for Planet Fitness with me this week. Oh, cool, Morgan. See, now, going to the gym, as far as working out, was never hard for me. I love the gym. And I just, I was down working Bob the other day and stuff. I love that stuff. It's eating right that I always would say, fuck it, too. But the working out part, I enjoy. I agree, Lobster. He says, pickleball is so underrated. It's great. Yeah, I completely agree. And now I just got learned. Now I can hit windmill serves now because I was working on that. I can put a lot of power into the serves, but I have a natural instinct. I think it's from all the years of playing baseball, and because I worked on I could throw every pitch. I could throw a screwball, I could throw a curveball, I could throw a slider, I could throw a split finger fastball or a forkball, we called it. And it's the same basic principles in pickleball. You're just doing it with a paddle instead of with your hand. Chrome says, by the way, I might gift my best friend a cameo message. Any recommendations of who to get? I don't know. Wolverine, because I don't know the friend's interests. There's tons of people in every field on Cameo, so I'm sure you can find somebody. Michael says, I like sports well enough in school, but the only one I was naturally good at was floor hockey. I used to watch them play floor hockey all the time. I've never played it myself. Damo Muerto says, been enjoying the Fallout New Vegas gameplay. Have you been enjoying it so far? Yeah, it's great. It's great. I was going to do that today, but it's just been a while since I actually touched base with you guys so we can sit and chat, and I really like doing this. But yeah, more New Vegas will be coming up. Now, tomorrow I actually am playing pickleball in the afternoon. So if I... New Vegas, I don't know. Maybe I'll get time to put it up tomorrow, but if I do, it won't be super long because it'll be a gameplay rather than a stream. And I don't play it for long periods because I end up getting stuck and I need you guys. So then the following one has to be a stream again. Maximum Mount says, I was a nerd. I never played sports in school. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's got to have their own interests. I've always said life would be really boring if everybody had the exact same interests. Matthew says, how about Suyu Asui, the nice girl from My Hero Academia? Yoroichi, but I don't hate Yoroichi. I love Yoroichi. That's the thing. The question was, who do you, an anime character you hate that you got to spend the day with? And I always see that's why Lust fits into that narrow category because I did hate her character, but yeah, I wouldn't mind hanging around her for a day. And she's used to people like me because she hangs around Gluttony. Kaiser says, I've been doing push-ups, sit-ups, squats. I started with 10 a week, and I've been adding extra to each every week. Will even 10 per day and all three help for muscle gain? Absolutely. Absolutely. And what you want to do, Kaiser, is just as your body can take more, bring your reps up. Do more and more as you go. But 100% it will. Well, to give you an idea, from, the only exercise I've been doing recently was hitting Bob every so often, which keeps my hand speed up. I think that's another reason I do well at pickleball is I never stopped hitting the bag. And that's all about hand speed, and so is pickleball. But I wasn't doing any type of stretching exercises or anything like that. And now that I started trying to stay conscious of being in better shape, one of the keys is obviously stretching. And it's sad to say, doing a proper, front stretch, the proper lean forward, that's where you keep your knees locked. So it pulls on the stretches the hamstrings. When I started, my hands were not even to my ankles. It's like, holy shit, this is bad. But now in just these few weeks, now I can put my palms down on the floor. My favorite baseball team, Lobster, is the Pirates. Sad to say. The only real standout record the Pirates have accumulated in the last 45 years would be they have the longest streak of losing seasons of any major American sport. Hockey, basketball, football, baseball. The Pirates had, it was 20 or 21 years in a row where they had losing seasons, and then they broke it. Kaiser says, do squats help with push-ups and sit-ups help and in what way? Well, no, squats are all about your quads, your upper legs, quads and hamstrings. So, and push-ups are all chest and triceps. So no, they're entirely different. And I'm sorry, hold on, I don't want to miss that. What was the rest? Oh, and sit-ups, yes. Well, sit-ups, a lot of people do sit-ups to lose weight. They're not good for losing weight. What sit-ups do is build the muscle and strengthen the muscle in your core, in your abdomen. So they're very good. They're a good thing to have because what people tend to forget is a strong core, strong abdomen muscles saves your back. If the front side is strong, it helps protect the back side, which is, of course, your spine. So they're very important. So you should do sit-ups, but if you're looking to lose weight, you need to do cardio as well. Maximum says Pirates are bad, but the Rockies are giving them a run right now. And that's the thing, Ounce. A lot of teams will have down times and have shit seasons or have a few shit seasons, but my Pirates can continue it. I mean, we can have shit season after shit season. Baymaster says, have I ever been in a fight? Oh, yes. Many, many times. Correct. Jake says, strong lower body helps build a strong upper body, too. It helps facilitate a strong upper body, sure. Michael says, I've only been to one baseball game, and it was a school field trip, which I think is why I'm not into baseball. It was a really bad game, like nothing three, and it rained twice halfway through it. You just caught a bad day? See, I just love baseball. I can sit and watch. We've got, not far from us, probably, maybe 3/4 of a mile away, there's a whole complex of baseball fields. And I keep hoping I can get some extra time in the evening while this time of year while they're playing here. Because I can just go sit and watch them play, especially the kids. It's fun to watch the kids play ball. I love baseball so much. Baymaster says, are there any exercises that can make your sausage bigger? Not that I found so far. But if you discover it, you damn well better let me know. Morgan says, I've been in a singular fight. 13 years old. Bully spit on me. Oh, she didn't expect me to start wailing on her. Yeah, a lot of times bullies don't expect that. Well, I told you guys when I was young, when I was little, I got bullied. And it was never a big epiphany that got me out of it. It was just like one of those things that it just hit me that it's like, okay, I'm tired of being bullied. And if I'm going to fight back, the beating I get isn't going to be any worse than the bullying, so I might as well fight back. But then that was a major pivot point in my life because it changed the way I looked at things when I discovered that I liked fighting. Like, this is fun. And, boom, landing a good hard shot on somebody's face. Whoo, loved it. And I didn't even mind taking the beatings. So that was it. We're off. Austin says a guy is sitting at the doctor's office. The doctor walks in and says, I have some bad news. I'm afraid you're going to have to stop masturbating. I don't understand, Doc. I'm trying to I'm trying to examine you. Maximum Mount says this is how trash the Rocks are. Everyone in Colorado is celebrating the Nuggets and the Avalanche, praying for the Broncos, and we don't talk about the Rockies. Really? The Rockies get no attention? It's just like, there's a lot of areas that are like that. I mean, the Mets have been the little brother to the Yankees for decades. My wife's uncle, who I was really close with, was a great guy and big into college football like I am. When he moved down to Georgia, he was in the carpet industry and it dried up in New York, so he moved down and opened his own carpet mill in Georgia. He said it struck him funny there too, because the same thing. You got two really big schools as far as profiles in football, which is Georgia and Georgia Tech. And he said everybody's all about Georgia and couldn't give a shit less about Georgia Tech. It's just weird how that works out. Excuse me. Oh, Breaking Bad's amazing. Danger Dave. One of the best series I've ever watched. One of the best ever. Charlie says, "Hey Curtis, have you ever watched or heard of Clone High?" Neither. I have not seen it, and I don't think I've ever heard of that one before. Oh, you know who's not? Our Chrome's not in today. Or Big Green. Oh, bummer. They're usually here every time we get to stream. Of course, they very well may not have been notified too. Lobster says, "Curtis, do you prefer Marvel or DC?" Well, if you go back to when I was growing up, and that's, I was way into superhero comics. Neither, because I love both. I really did. I mean, it's not a cop out. I would buy either. Even now, because I've been a Batman fan from way back. In the Marvel universe, I've always loved the Incredible Hulk. I love the Avengers. I mean, it's tough. Garrick says they should do an episode of Dragon Ball Super where the two universes play Battle Ball, their version of football. I bet Vegeta and Goku would love that. That would actually be cool. You're 100% right, Garrick. They should do that. I agree. That's a Battle Ball match I could get into. No, I know we're not modelists, Wolverine. I was just saying, it just struck me because obviously usually Big Green and Chrome are with us. But I see Chrome was in the Goosh earlier, so I'm sure she's fine. Jake says, "I work at a mom and pop shop on my days off, and the manager at that shop is a One Piece like me. He sent me a text this morning telling me the owner and his wife saw and liked the live action of One Piece." I thought the live action, I thought it was very good. I was very impressed because we've all been we've been trained to question the quality of a Netflix anime adaptation, but I liked it a lot. I think I told you guys, even got my wife to watch it, and she enjoyed it. Kaiser, I remember for 21 months. Wow. Already. Wow. I summon my fist in attack mode. You lose 5 dignity. S. Blank says, "What's worse, a TV show having a badly written ending or never being finished in the first place?" For me, a badly written ending. It would be frustrating to not have it finished, but you could always hold out hope. But when you get, I love endings, whether it's movies, books, TV, anything. I'm a big nerd for endings. So when you get a shit ending, especially on something you've really enjoyed, that's a kick in the nuts. I hate that. Okay, Morgan. She says, "Gotta go. I got a meeting to attend. See ya." Thanks for popping in with us, Morgan. I'll talk to you soon. Oh, I don't know. Pineapple Guy says, "What's the worst ending you've ever seen?" I don't know. It's not the worst ever, but I was a fan of that Young Sheldon show, and that just ended, and that ending was not good. It was very, very odd. Just kind of didn't have an ending. It just stopped. Probably it's not the worst ever. I'd have to think of other, I'm sure I could think of others, but. Yeah, I can understand that. Maximum Mount says, as a Game of Thrones super fan, I would have preferred it canceled. I think a lot of people, and you guys know I haven't seen Game of Thrones, just the first couple episodes we tried at the channel here. But from what I gather, a lot of the Game of Thrones fans feel the same way, that the ending was so bad they would have rather just, like you say, just got canceled, didn't get to end or whatever. That's too bad. Right. Michael says, "I can make up my own ending. I can't rewrite a bad ending." Right. We could visualize in our minds how it ended and share it with people on the internet or whatever. But when you get a shit ending, you're stuck with that shit ending. Jake says, "And just for reference, the owners are your age and think cartoons are for children. So them liking the live action made both the manager and I chuckle." Yeah, again, you guys know my wife isn't animation fan at all. And not an anime fan, but she really enjoyed One Piece. Although she's been fair, she watched Violet Evergarden with me and absolutely loved it. what's I'm trying to remember. There were a couple of movies. A Silent Voice she watched with me, and she enjoyed that too. As long as I pick and choose carefully, though, I mean, she's fair. If she likes something, she'll tell you. She's not going to go into it with a, oh, this is anime, I'm going to hate it attitude. But she hates subtitles, so it has to be some. If we watch together, it's got to be something that I like the dub. Dama Muertos says, "You thinking about watching the rest of Spying Friends?" Yeah, that's why we're getting caught up with it over at the Grandpa Curtis Reacts channel, because now I'm caught up with the ones I've already seen, and I'll be watching the others and posting the reactions. Wolverine says, "If the ending you're visualizing isn't an orgy between everyone, you're doing it wrong." I think that's fair. Odin is salty says, "I want One Punch Man to have another season already because I like the two other seasons they had." Yeah, well, we're in the midst of watching season 2 at the Goosh right now because it's been sponsored. It never did well enough in the nominations and polls to get in, but now it's been sponsored for us, and it's really good. I'm really enjoying season 2. I had my doubts because everybody, after season 1 was amazing, of course. And then there was so much blowback on season 2 that it just didn't live up to season 1, so on and so forth. I was like, all right, if I see it, I see it. If I don't, I don't. But now I'm watching it. I'm really enjoying it. Garrick says, "Do you ever want to go to Casa Bonita that the creators of South Park bought? Ever since that episode in DLC, I kind of wanted to go there and try it. I would check it out. And I'm not, among the many issues I have food-wise, you guys know I can't eat anything with any spice, so Mexican food just about kills me. But it's Casa Bonita. I mean, I've seen they got that huge waterfall and everything, and my fat ass, if I jump off that waterfall, I could submerge the restaurant. But yes, that would be cool to see. I want so badly to be able to get Brax on board with me and go to Japan, though, and see some of the things over there, a lot of the anime-related stuff. But thank you for the super chats, Garrick. Maximum Amount says, "The problem with Game of Thrones is that the book's author refuses to finish the last 2 books. So they had to pull shit out of nowhere." Oh, I didn't know about that. No, I didn't know that. Gnome Sane says, "Do your dogs chase bubbles?" You know what gets our dogs wound up is any type of flickering or flashing light. If you get one of those laser pens, they'll go nuts. They're like cats. They'll chase all over the house. My wife has a little bird feeder outside, and later in the day, the sun shines through it, and it'll glint off the walls of the house, and that drives the giant dinosaur dog nuts. She'll see those lights, and she's like, "What the fuck is that? I must kill that." And that sort of thing. Archer, I don't know. Archer, what happened with that when we had to move some of the reactions from YouTube over to the Goosh? I let everybody vote over at the Goosh on the ones that came over, which would have been, what was it? The Office, which we finished. Always Sunny. Archer. And I think there was a 4th, but Archer came in last for the ones that they wanted to see picked up again. Isn't that funny? Michael, he says that almost every dog I've had chases laser like a cat would. It cracks me up, especially with our dinosaur dog, because she's such a big goof, and she's not nimble. She's like me, not nimble at all. And trying to chase that light around is always fun. Garrick says, "Have you considered watching Tenchi series?" I'm not familiar, Garrick. I'm not familiar with Tenchi series. Of course, everything I watch is with anime now is voted on over at the Goosh. So, as a matter of fact, we just had a poll finish. Oh gosh, what's What's the name of the show that got just voted in? I haven't seen it yet, so it's even easier for me to forget the name. But it's only a one season show, so we have two more polls coming up very soon where people can vote stuff in. There's Big Green. We were just talking about you, pal. Good to see you. What's the show that just got voted in, you guys? I know we got some gooshers, some gooshers here. I can go look it up. I'm just lazy. Solo Leveling. Thank you. Solo Leveling's coming up. But that's only 12 episodes. So right as we get started on it, I'll be putting up the nominations thread for yet another show. Tenchi Muyo series. Sorry, I didn't put the whole name. Oh, it's okay, Garrick. I'm not familiar with it. No, pal. I don't think I've seen that. Now, again, my memory is dog shit. We all know that. But Garrick, I don't think I've seen that show up in the nominations yet either. Tenchi Muyo. I'm not familiar with that. Yeah, I see VG's got a new handle. Big Green's Beyblade horn. I do like that, though. Oh, no worries, pal. I'm missing the fall. Again, now I'm trying to figure out, because I want to get back to playing Fallout. And I am playing pickleball tomorrow. I've got a bunch of videos to get done early in the day. I'm trying to think of the next opportunity I'm going to get to do that. Dragolair says, hi, longtime fan of the pro wrestling career. With what it looks like to be a Bloodline civil war, what side would you be on? New Bloodline with The Rock or original Bloodline with Roman Reigns? If I'm going to take sides, it'd be with Roman. I'd be siding with Roman. Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Here. S-Bine says, would be cool to see you reacting to some classic Simpsons, regardless of its compilations or full episodes. Yeah, now, as I said, shows and movies have moved over to Grandpa Curtis Reacts. Here we'll be doing stuff. I'm really enjoying, I like fail videos, always have. So I'm enjoying doing those fail videos. We'll be doing reactions to those here. And then anything we get that's like YouTube series reactions and stuff, we'll put here. Again, if, what's a good example? Like if it was llamas with hats or something like that, we'll be doing those here as well. Maximum Mount says, Overlord and Chainsaw Man both have movies coming out that will be very plot heavy. And he plans to chop them up into a couple reactions. I'm not planning that far ahead. I don't know. It's more likely if I do them, it will be watch-along reactions at the Goosh and edited up for the Grandpa Curtis Reacts channel, if I do those. Noam Saint says, do you follow the majors like the French Open at Roland Garros next week? Not closely. You know what? Certainly if I'm watching ESPN or watching something for sports updates, I don't turn it off when they go to tennis. So that's where I get my information from. But no, I don't. I usually just see highlights. Prisma says, on the subject of Fallout New Vegas, here are some voices to listen out for. Matthew Perry, Renee, I can never pronounce his name, Auberjonois, I never pronounced his name right, Danny Trejo, Chris Christopherson, really? William Sadler, Wayne Newton, to name a few others. Oh, Wayne Newton. Wow, that's kind of cool. I love Danny Trejo. He cracks me up. Jack Strife says, hey, Kurt, we fought in the anime Civil War together. Good to see you still kicking. Well, slightly kicking anyway, yeah. Michael says, I've been wanting to mention you being a wrestler reminds me of my 8th grade social studies teacher. The military base in our town in North Carolina held weekend wrestling shows, and he did shows as the vet. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. And Pineapple Guy says, Resident Evil 2 question. Would you rather be boned by Mr. X or bone Leon? You said ask me. Oh, you can ask me anything. Neither one sounds like all that much fun, to be honest with you. Probably have to bone Leon. And Wolverine says, anyway, I'm exhausted. Gonna bounce, been overworked recently. Okay, well, thanks for popping in while you could, pal. Nifmaster says, best of luck with your new channel, but I think you should just link it in your channel description instead of just mentioning it from time to time. It isn't linked in there? It should be in the descriptions. Yeah, that's true. I can put it up on the channel itself. Yeah. And I do that. I mention it when it comes up because if people are interested, I want to make sure they know where to find things. I don't. It's an interesting thing with what I learned about YouTube. I don't look to try and get people, and they're very well intended, but I'm very careful about not just putting out blanket statements, because then what happens is you get people that subscribe and aren't necessarily into that type of content. They're subscribing just to support. But what happens is when you get subscribers who aren't into the content, that hurts the overall channel. That's what's happened here because it's so old. The channel's so old, so many of the subscribers here are dead accounts, things like that. Plus we've changed direction with the channel. That's why things dried up here. Because there are too many subscribers, through nobody's fault, that either don't exist or aren't interested in what we're doing, so the channel can never get any traction. Big Green says, I would rather Mr. X just punch me in the head as he always does. Yeah, getting boned by him does not sound like a fun time. Shocking, I know. S-Wine says, oh, imagine PewDiePie, way more than 100 million subscribers over the course of 10 plus years. Yeah. And you see, now, it's funny you brought him up. For some reason, he just had a video recommended to me just the other day. And I was looking at his channel, and you'll see now, even Pewds, 100 million subscribers, but a lot of his videos now only get, but for 100 and some odd subscribers, get like 2 million views. So, it happens. Griggsy says, I never knew about this channel until you started live streaming, but I followed your other channel. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you're here with us. Michael Allen says, he was the Patriot, if I remember, wore a camouflage mask. I always had to do push-ups in class for falling asleep. Well, the one guy that was the Patriot I know well. There are two guys who worked as a Patriot. Del Wilkes. And the other guy is the one I know personally and actually had a little bit of a run-in with. And you think I'd remember his? Tom Brady. Del Wilkes and Tom Brady. I mean, there are other wrestlers, don't get me wrong, that have worked under a hood and called themselves a Patriot. But those are the two highest profile ones. Dragolair says, I always wondered, how come you don't have a Legends contract with WWE? I learned early on from Joe Blanchard. Great guy as far as I'm concerned. When I discovered as I was starting my wrestling career that to make it to the big time, you had to be on the road at least 300 days a year. It was just like, nah, I've always been too family oriented, too much about family. So I decided I would just enjoy wrestling in the indies, and, you know, that allows me to wrestle, have a good time, be a part of the business I love, but not have to give up everything to do with family. Yeah, he does. Finley says PewDiePie seems to be semi-retired with his content. Yeah, he does. Very sporadic now that he uploads. Oh, really? Michael says, I found you from your Nun Piece videos as a teen. Wow. I almost forgotten about Nun Piece. Wow, that's cool. Garrick says, if you do go to Japan, you should try an American-themed restaurant and let us know your opinion. They got some things right, maybe you could endorse. Oh, I would definitely, if I ever, Garrick, if I get to go to Japan, I would certainly live stream for you guys and everything. I'd want to take you along with me because it's due to you guys that I even have an interest in going to Japan, because it's the fascination with anime that has led to my fascination with Japanese culture. So I wouldn't, you know, it's something I wouldn't even have dreamed of doing if it weren't for all you guys. Yeah, that would be a big thing. My biggest goal, what I'd like to see for the YouTube channel, especially like the new channel, if YouTube is ever going to allow us to have reach with it again, if it could get big enough to where I could afford to hire an editor. then I could give you guys a lot of the content that everybody's looking for, because it's editing that takes up the vast majority of my days. So if I ever got it to the point where I could afford a full-time editor, then you would see a lot of the stuff that everybody wants to see able to come back. Michael says, there's one American-themed restaurant in Japan I saw, and it's hilarious. They have a Family Guy sign outside and school cafeteria seats inside. That'd be cool. That would be cool. Prisma says, do you ever watch Star Wars? What if channels? Well, we've got episode 1 is up. It was here, but now it's up over at the Grandpa Curtis Reacts channel. And again, it's just a matter of time till I get... Oh, as a matter of fact, I'm posting because... Again, I moved the movies from here to over there. And right now, I'm glad you guys brought this up. I took the Room reaction down here, and today I'm putting it up over there. I'm doing what YouTube says they want us to do, keeping everything of like content together. Okay, D-Room. Okay, doom. Yeah, I'll show you how bizarre this is. Let's see if I can. I don't know if you guys can see this on my phone or not. This is just a list of my videos at the Grandpa Curtis channel, but I'll scroll through and give you an idea. Okay, so before last Saturday, the days leading into last Saturday, here's the last few videos that went up. Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl has 5,500 views. Murder Drones 1x3 is just about 900. Smiling Friends 1x1, 9.3 thousand. Has Been Hotel 1x2, 1.2 thousand. Tropic Thunder 1.6 thousand. Has Been Hotel 1x3, 926. Mr. Frog is Way Too Cool, which is Smiling Friends number 2, 7.7 thousand. Then came Saturday. Murder Drones 1x4, 557. Smiling Friends 1x3, 523. Fallout 1x1, 552. Smiling Friends 4, 5, and 6, 665. Scott Tenorman Must Die yesterday, 429. So what they did was they're showing the video to those who have signed up, ticked the bell, jumped through all their little hoops, and nobody else, basically. Why? I mean, just 2 weeks ago, I had a video go to 9,000 views. And if you read their comments, there's nothing that says the same thing. It'll say, oh, this video is appealing to a much wider audience on YouTube. And then they don't send it out to the wider audience on YouTube. So I have no idea how YouTube does things. I'm just hoping that with time, they'll actually start giving the channel some push again. Hey, good to see you, Tosspot. Glad you came in. Zuchan says, I don't know if it's true, but I heard that Japan was banning tourists. Really? Wow, I find that hard to believe just because, the tourism industry brings in so much money over there. I don't know that their economy could afford to do that, could they? Kaiser says, would you rather be spied on by Lloyd, kicked into the ceiling by Yor, or Anya read your mind? Any interaction I could have with Yor would be a net positive of some sort. Yeah, let her kick me into the ceiling. 100%. And Garrick, again, thank you for the super chats, Garrick. Says, if you became a character in Overlord, what would you be, human or a different race? Would you want to be a member of the Guild of Ainz Wool Gone? Last question first. Yes. Love Ainz. I'd probably go with human, but my big question would be, what would it take for me to gain her attention? I will be whatever required to get the attention of Albedo. So I guess I'd have to leave that as it remains to be seen. Whatever gets me a shot there, that's what I want to be. Oh, okay. Griggsy says they aren't banning tourists, but they are placing restrictions on public live streaming in popular places. Probably because of the douchebags over there, right? The streamers that go over there and just start creating havoc and stuff. typically Americans because fucking idiots. Just unbelievable. Oh, Dragolair says they are banning tourists on Geisha Lane. Too many people not following the rules. It's just amazing how people from other nations, and this one specifically, go to other places and just feel like the rules are just mere suggestions and they can do whatever they want. It pisses me off all the time. It's freaking ridiculous. Nacho said, yeah, it's because of people that refuse to read the room. I don't blame them. You know, you've got a nice culture that's based on respect in a certain way, you know, a certain way of conducting yourself and everything. And then you get people from other parts of the world coming and going, fuck you, I'll do what I want. Just unbelievable. Kyle says, Otis is turning on Gable Saturday? Yeah? You knew that had to be coming. That's got to be happening. Big Green says, well, being spied on by Lloyd would be like being spied on by the FBI anyway. You would never know. True. Lloyd's good at what he does. Oh, okay, so everybody's saying the same thing about Japan. Yeah, I understand it. I completely get that. You know, that's their country. They have their way of doing things, which I just have so much respect and admiration for. And you get just assholes going over there deciding that they'll just do whatever they want. That stuff drives me crazy. Michael says, honestly, I blame the everyone is unique thing that my generation was told. Now everyone is entitled and thinks they're special. Well, that part is true. We see enough of that on social media. I mean, people do have that entitlement about them. That's just so obnoxious. And it's not even restricted age-wise to any one group. How I see people in my category, I see the boomers doing the same things. I don't know where people's sense of entitlement comes from, but man, it's rampant. I read something about that, Tosspot. He says, even the people who climb Mount Everest these days, so much trash and waste at the camp starting to look like a dump. It's shit. Yeah, people just have absolute zero respect. And as was just said, that insane sense of entitlement. I don't get where that comes from. Griegsy says it's about 1/3 of the population across all age groups. Yeah, it's sad. It's pathetic. People just thinking that the world owes them something, and they're above and beyond anybody else's parameters or rules. Leo Rick says, "Well, I am special. I was special too. I mean, it was special in quotation marks, and it was in school, but you know." S-Line says, every single snowflake might be unique and different from every other one, but you think I'm paying attention to a single one of them when a whole bunch are falling from the sky? That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, people just have this sense of belief that their mere existence is something we all should be celebrating, and you're just not that special, dude. Nacho says, when everyone's special, no one will be. Insert syndrome laugh here. Yeah. But I don't blame the Japanese people at all. Again, that's the way they like their society structured. That's the way they've been doing it for generations there, and other people coming in and just going, no, we'll do it my way. See, that's the problem too here in America. A lot of times the people who come in with no, you'll do it my way, everybody bends the knee to them. Oh, okay, well, we don't want you to feel bad, so we will do it your way. Oh, fuck your way. Garrick says, Japan needs their own version of the Queen's Guard. F around and find out, or have an organization that supports Japan's culture to help enforce law. I agree 100%. I couldn't agree more, Garrick. I think there should be significant punishments for the things I see people doing over there in Japan and disrespecting their whole way of life and everything. I don't think the punishments that they hand out are nearly severe enough. Earth Polluter. I like that screen name. Says, hey Curtis, love your videos. Thanks. I have autism and sensory processing disorder, and it feels great to finally have someone here that understands all the different disorders. Well, no, I'm glad you're having fun with us. Yeah, that's got to be rough. I can't even imagine. I mean, I've read about and understand what that does too, but I can't imagine living with it. That's tough, pal. Kaiser says, when I was over there, I tried to be respectful, but sometimes you mess up. Yeah, but that's the difference, Kaiser. I think most all people are completely understanding of somebody who makes a mistake. You know, again, just as you said, I'm trying to be respectful. If you step outside of those lines and it's purely an accident, I think most people are just going to correct you and go about their business. But you got these people over there who that's what they're doing, is trying to prove to the world that they don't have to fit in with what this society says, especially streamers. It's just, oh man, the social media has created such a bunch of just absolutely despicable people. There you go. Michael says, well, Japan should bring back samurai exactly for that, dealing with idiots and preserve their culture. Yeah. Out says, it sucks because me and my friend are going to Kyoto next year. Cool. I don't want no trouble. I just want to eat, shop, and look at the fish. I am an aquarium nerd, and they got a world-class one. But like I say, Ounce, I think, especially in a society like Japan's, I think people completely understand if you step outside the lines on accident. You know, it's a mistake. Because typically, even here, people are more likely to say, hey, you know, please don't do that. Here's why. And if you're like, oh, geez, I'm sorry, I didn't know, who's going to get pissed off about that? But when you got your fucking phone out and you're intentionally trying to antagonize people or trying to do things doing things that you know are not acceptable in their society and laughing about it, you're a scumbag. Grigsby says, I agree with your opinion about traveling there, but the problem with the Japanese criminal justice system probably should by international standards. I'm not sure what you mean, Grigsby. Same as U.S. I think our justice system right now is a big part of the reason we have as many issues as we do, because it's so toothless. Right, I agree, Michael. He says, from what I've seen, most cultures are pretty forgiving so long as you're trying. Right. I think that's just in general, just a general rule of people, I think, is people are understanding of someone making an honest mistake. It's when you're just being genuinely and outright disrespectful to them that it becomes an issue. Big Green says, I just want to go to Japan and play with balls. That's understandable. What? I was talking about pachinko, you know, the metal balls and everything. Now for the remix says, this is the only reaction channel I watch. Keep up the good work. Well, thanks. I appreciate that, my friend. Kaiser says, the worst I did there was cut in line in a hotel because my mom hurt her ankle while we were out. Wasn't broken, luckily. Ooh. But was worried it was serious, so jumped the gun. Yeah, I mean, and again, I think that's one of those cases where when it's explained, most of the time people are like, okay, cool. Even if it comes with a caveat, even if it's okay, cool, but don't do that again, it's entirely different than people who are just trying to be a public nuisance. Ugh. Kyle says, what do you call a fish with no eye? Fish. My favorite Breaking Bad character, Speedall, is probably Mike. I think Mike is awesome. Mike's just so cool. My favorite food, Dr. Lecter, is pizza. I am a pizza fanatic. When my wife and I, if we get to travel, go someplace new, that's one of the first things I look for is a pizza place to try another new pizza or something. Yeah. I love my red meats, love hamburgers, stuff like that, but we've been promising my grandson that for his 16th birthday we would take him to Disney World for some time. So we're going to be going in July, which is brutal going there in July, but he's very much into sports. And this one week in July is the only time he had that he could get away. So we're going down there then. And you guys know once I get down there, that means Via Napoli Pizza in Epcot. Kyle says, Domino's, Papagino's, or Pizza Hut? I don't know Papagino's. Domino's, many, many years ago, was one of my go-tos. I love Domino's pizza. And then they changed the sauce, and it was dog shit. I was so pissed when they changed that sauce because I love Domino's pizza. Now I hate it. So of those, it's Pizza Hut. Of the chains, the one I like the most is Papa John's. I actually like Papa John's pizza. I like Papa John's pizza. I don't even get toppings on it. I like their cheese pizza. And for whatever reason, whatever it is, the way they go about making it, it is the best pizza I've had as far as reheating. I mean, you can't put it in a microwave. Pizza reheated in the microwave tastes like crap. But if you just throw it on the oven racks for a couple minutes, it's delicious the second time around. So anytime we get Papa John's, I'll order the biggest pizza because there's going to be leftovers, and then I get a few meals out of it. So price-wise, it's one of the best deals I get too. Little Caesars. I've only been to Little Caesars like twice, Michael. That was good. I remember that. It wasn't bad. I like Papa John's better, but Little Caesars was good. But I couldn't tell you guys how pissed off I was when Domino's changed that sauce. That was years ago. Jeez, got to be at least 30 years ago. But oh, I was livid. Yeah, Thomas says July, poor bastard. I live in Florida, so I can say that, yeah. I've been there in the summer before, and we try not to, but my grandson just loves Disney World. And that's the only week he's got. And once school starts, he's just as busy. So it's like, all right, we're going to have to suck it up. It's going to be hot. S-Wine says it's so absurd that you need a battle plan 6 months in advance just for a one-time visit to a theme park. At that point, I'd rather go to a playground and cause all the parents to leave. It's not as extreme as that, S-Wine, but if you're not somebody who knows all the in and outs of Disney 100%, it's very difficult to navigate your way through it. The only way, we're Disney fanatics. So we stay on top of everything going on at the parks all the time because, we read, we're on mailing lists, and of course we watch live streams from Disney all the time. So we've got that part going for us, and we know how to get through the days as efficiently as possible. But yes, Disney doesn't make it any easier on you. Things like the way they do their Genie Plus, which is their Fast Pass, as opposed to Universal's so simple and efficient system, they don't make it easy for you. But if you do know all the ins and outs, you can get by. Oh. Kyle said, my friend had Chips Ahoy and he dipped it in salsa. Oh. You know me, I don't eat salsa anyway because I'm a bitch. I think I mentioned that. Anything with any little bit of a bite spice to it, I'm not eating. Big Green says, speaking of fast food places, Taco Bell and Krispy Kreme are coming to Germany, apparently. Not that I'll know. These places never arrive in my area. Oh, Taco Bell's good. Krispy Kremes are amazing. As I said, now with, trying to eat properly again, and I'm going to have to do that for the rest of my life, not grabbing some Krispy Kremes every once in a while is not much. There's not that much that I miss, as far as junk foods and stuff. It doesn't bother me. Krispy Kremes is one of them. I really enjoy that. Taco Bell, surprisingly, if any of you guys have access and haven't tried it, has amazing breakfast menu. The Taco Bell breakfast foods are really, really good. I heard that, Kyle, that they're bringing Krispy Kreme to McDonald's. I had heard that. That's an interesting combination there. A nice greasy quarter pounder, some fries, and a Krispy Kreme. Wood says, it is wholly unsurprising that regardless of when I arrive, you motherfuckers are talking about food. Correct. Hey, Lex, there's Lex. Pour one out for Green for not having Krispy Kreme until now. Oh, Krispy Kreme's Green, they're just so good. So good. They made their legend on their regular glazed ones. The glazed Krispy Kremes are what made the company. But they make a donut that is filled with a white cream and topped with chocolate. If somebody told me I could eat all of them I want and not gain weight, but it'd take 5 years off my life, and I'm 62, 5 years could mean tomorrow, I'd still take the deal. S. says, anything can be food if you're open-minded enough. I've had, I don't remember specifically the cuts de Muertos, but I've had some, high-priced steaks. I'm not somebody with expensive tastes, though. The high-priced steaks I've had were good. I didn't think they were necessarily better than my local steakhouse. Things like chocolates, too. You know, my wife always loved Godiva chocolates, and they're wildly expensive. They're good, but I think Hershey's is better. I'm not somebody with expensive taste in food. Oh, I agree with that, Lobster. The Wendy's Frosty is one of the greatest fast food creations of all time. Could not agree with that more. Yes, the Wendy's Frosty. Yeah, that's the shit. Yep. Lick says they have a Krispy Kreme in most Tesco's here. Tesco's is basically the British equivalent to Walmart or any of the chain brand supermarkets. Oh, that's cool. We have that over here too, Lick. A lot of them. As a matter of fact, our Walmart has Krispy Kremes in them too. A lot of the stores do. Used to be there were a lot of Krispy Kreme shops. There was one not too far from me back when I used to come down and visit family here. I think it's still there, but most of the time now that's where we get them too. Because like the Food Lion chain, that's my favorite grocery store we have around here. You can go in there and buy a half dozen or a dozen Krispy Kremes every day that they have brought in. But the Krispy Kreme stores are few and far between. When you get up, actually, I don't remember where Krispy Kreme started. I'm thinking it must have been the Northeast because I know through Pennsylvania and that area, there's still a lot of them. Thomas says, Krispy Kreme McDonald's sold a double quarter pounder with donut buns. Can you imagine? At that point, you're just surrendering. You're just saying, all right, I was gonna die someday anyway, so fuck it. Today's the day. Lick says, my Tesco also has a man behind the bins who sells you drugs and molests you from time to time. He's a cool guy hosting my 12th birthday party. He's not a fun guy, Lex. Georgia? Really, Griggsy? See, you could be right. I have no idea. I just thought it might be the Northeast because, again, there's so many Krispy Kremes still in Pennsylvania. You know, when we travel back up to New York to see family or something, of course, we go right through the full length north to south of Pennsylvania, and there's all kinds of Krispy Kremes there. Not as many north of it, not as many south of it, but tons of them. I'm going to die happy, right, Big Green? Right. Oh man. Those Krispy Kremes. Yeah, if they get there, Big Green, you got to make a trip. You got to try them. They're ridiculous. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Lobster. He says, can't wait for the Big Mac with freaking glazed donuts as the bun. Oh, Winston-Salem, right here in my area. No shit, Griggsy. Winston-Salem's only an hour and a half from me. No kidding. I'm surprised because we don't have that many here. And I say that. I haven't come across that many. I know the only one that we had close years ago to us here was in Gastonia, North Carolina, because I remember driving down there because, again, my family's lived here for years, to pick up some donuts for everybody. I'll have to look them up. Hey, Goku. Goku loses to a heart. Says, so far we are enjoying Black Clover. I don't get why it's hated. Asta's a very likable character. I like it. I like Black Clover. I agree with you. I have no issue with it at all. I enjoyed what I saw of it. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Let me see. Krispy Kreme near me. And yeah, that one in Gastonia is still here. Oh, we've got a few around. Concord, Charlotte. So we do have a few around. It would make sense then that it's Winston-Salem. Oh, we got more than I thought around us. I mean, nothing like, a McDonald's or something like that, but there's a good handful of them. Let me see, Krispy Kremes, see how many are there. Krispy Kreme in Pennsylvania. Because that's where I see a ton of them. Oh, there's not really all that many listed. You know what it must be? They must just be all along the route that, excuse me, I just happen to take when I go through there. That's interesting. I did not know. I'll have to go, because I get over to Winston-Salem every once in a while. I'll have to see if there's anything, an original store there or anything like that. B Green says, fingers crossed they'll be in my area. Yeah, you definitely got to try them if they are, pal. Earth Polluter says, what made you get into stand-up years ago? I just always loved it and wanted to try it. And once I did, it's like, this is a lot of fun. And again, that's how I made my living for quite some time. I love being on stage. Yeah, I agree with Lix. She says, Green, they're worth driving out for, not going to lie. They are. They're exceptional, Big Green. They really, we have Dunkin' Donuts here too, and Dunkin' Donuts are fine. But it's not even a contest. I mean, Dunkin' Donuts are here. They're good. But fucking Krispy Kreme's up here. Michael says, have you or anyone here seen Cashern's Sins? It's an older anime. I have not. Chrome's not with us today. Chrome's got a real solid knowledge of anime. She would probably know more about it. Kyle says, hope Roman comes back and beats the crap out of Solo. He would be the biggest pop ever. I think that's got to happen at some point, Kyle. Just my opinion. I think they got to bring Roman back to straighten out Solo. I think. Duncan has the best apple fritter. I'm trying to think, Griggsy. You know what? All the times I've gone to Dunkin' Donuts, because we had tons of them around us all the time, I don't think I've ever gotten an apple fritter there. I'll try one someday. Because I like apple fritters. I used to get them. There's a, where I used to live in New York, in upstate New York, there's a chain of convenience stores called Stewart's Shops. And I used to get my apple fritters there. They had good ones. But now that you mention it, I don't think I haven't. I've never gotten one at Dunkin' Donuts. Their cinnamon rolls they had there I really liked. Big Green says, I guess I'll keep my eye out to where in Germany they'll open, though. Then I'll see how crispy the cream is. Oh, yeah, they are good, Big Green. I mean, they really exceptional. Griggsy says it's my go-to every Friday. Every Friday I go into the office for work. I grab a coffee and an apple fritter at Dunkin'. Yeah, I'll try that. Actually, the Dunkin' Donuts we have close to us here, I went there once when we first moved here. It was so poorly run and such an absolute clusterfuck. I haven't been back. But there's tons of Dunkin' Donuts around. So sometime my wife and I are out, like on one of our trips to Disney or something like that, and we're stopping someplace, I'll do that. I'll pick one up just to see, because I like apple fritters and I haven't had one in ages. Well, Dunkin's known for their coffee, Dragolair. I'll give them that. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I couldn't tell you. But yeah, Dunkin's known for their coffee. Rick says, I like how Green said Krispy Kreme and Taco Bell, but nobody's even bothered bringing Taco Bell up because it's universally shit. As I said, though, Rick, I got to give them credit. Their breakfast stuff is good. At least I think so. I like their breakfast stuff. I don't mind again, I'm not a good judge because the only thing I eat in Mexican food is burritos with just the beef. That's it. So I'm not a good judge of that, but their breakfast foods are really excellent. I don't really follow NHL that close, Kyle. Says, I want Rangers and Dallas in the Stanley Cup Finals. Griggsy says, Duncan used to have terrible coffee, really. but they changed the recipe and it's got better. I think it was back 2010, 2015. Really? Because I know, again, I'm not a coffee drinker. I just know we've got a lot of people who live on their Dunkin' coffee. Or we did have up in New York. The Baja Blast is good, Licks. I've had it. Yeah. Taco Bell's Baja Blast is good. It'll give you a pop too. Woo-hoo. It'll wake you up if you need awakening. Excuse me. But the breakfast is good, Licks. If you have an opportunity and you're out, looking for something for a breakfast food, the stuff they have there, I think is excellent. All right, guys. Well, I gotta go. I got a ton more editing to do yet today and everything. Thank you guys for the stream. This was a lot of fun. And now I will be getting back to playing our game. And again, I was gonna play today. I was gonna play Fallout New Vegas today, but I like doing these streams every so often where we just get to hang out and talk. But New Vegas, if I can't stream it, I will make a video of it. And as I had said earlier in the stream, those probably won't be that long because when I'm playing on my own, I get stuck on shit. And then it's like, all right, we'll cut the video for now. Next one will be a live stream and you guys can tell me where to go from here. But thank you guys for hanging out in here with me. This was a really good time. And I'll certainly talk to you guys as soon as I can.